This is the exact strategy that I use to be more consistent and lose 80 pounds on my weight loss journey. I teach this inside of my Christian women's weight loss community, Whole and Holy Girls Club. And I'm going to share it with you now so that you can be even more consistent on your weight loss journey, even when you're not motivated. So, you know those bags of microwave popcorn that you can get? They're usually like single serving. Sometimes they're like in a plastic wrap, and then you take the plastic off, you stick it in the microwave for a couple of minutes, and it pops, and you have this like full bag of microwave popcorn, buttery popcorn. I personally like the kettle corn, whatever your flavor is, but it's a really nice way to have a quick snack that you can enjoy on your weight loss journey. And I promise this is going to make sense with consistency here in a minute. But what happens is, like I said, you whatever the instructions are, you put the bag in the microwave. Usually it's 2 minutes. Sometimes it's a minute and a half, 2:30, depending on the particular brand. But you put it in there, you allow it to pop, and then towards the end, it kind of slows down, and you take it out. And then there's always like this one like last pop that pops after you stop the microwave. But anyway, once it's done, you have your microwave popcorn. But what would happen if you put the bag of popcorn in the microwave, knowing it's supposed to go for about 2.5 minutes, let's say, and you put the bag in, and then you notice that it's inflating once you put it in and the time has started. And so you open up the microwave to see if your popcorn's ready, and then you notice the bag deflates because the popcorn hasn't popped yet. And so you close the microwave, you press the time so it can continue with the time, and you notice that it's inflating. You hear a couple of pops, and you open up the microwave again to see, well, is my popcorn ready? But the popcorn isn't ready yet. So you close the microwave door, then you press start so it can continue with this time. You see the bag inflating, and then it pops a couple more kernels, and you hear it popping. And so you get excited. You open up the microwave door to see the bag deflates, and you notice that it's not even really half full yet. And so you hit start again, the bag inflates, and then all of a sudden it beeps. The 2.5 minutes is up, but when you open the microwave door, you don't even have half a bag of popcorn popped. But why is that? Because even though it was supposed to go for the 2.5 minutes, you kept opening up the microwave door, which stopped the process and also stopped the progress. And so that is what's happening to us on our weight loss journeys when we are going along and we stop doing the things, and then we have to kind of get going. You get remotivated, and then you start doing the things all over again. And you find yourself in this position where what could have took you 1 year on your weight loss journey now may take you 5, because you are going and you keep stopping the process, and you're also stopping your progress. As opposed to with the microwave popcorn, if you just put it in there and let it continue to cook and pop for the entire 2.5 minutes, then it would be done and you would have your full bag of popcorn. But if you keep opening the door and stopping the process and stopping the progress, then in 2.5 minutes, that popcorn is not going to be done. And so again, that is what's happening on your weight loss journey. And so for some of us, what it is that we have this like all or nothing mentality. And we get to this place where we feel like if we're not doing all of the things, then we just end up doing nothing. And we're like, oh, I'll start later. I'll do it later. And what would happen for me on my weight loss journey is I would have these seasons where I would get really busy in my weight loss journey, and or in my life, and I would start feeling like, oh, I can't do this. It's too much right now. And so I would then do nothing because I had that all or nothing mentality as well. And so what I want to encourage you to do is to drop that mentality, because you're going to see how it's going to help you on your weight loss journey so that you can be more consistent. And like I said, this is exactly what I did in order to stay consistent, even when I didn't feel like it, so that I could then lose 80 pounds. So one of the things that we have to realize on our weight loss journeys is that motivation is going to come and go. And you might know that, but for some of us, it can be hard to continue to keep going and try to do all those things when we are not motivated to do so. And so we have to find a way to keep moving forward in our journeys, even when we're not motivated. There's going to be seasons in your life where maybe work gets busy, business gets busier, maybe your kids are sick, and so you're spending more time and energy taking care of them. You may even fall sick at times, and so you're not feeling like doing all of the things. There just may be seasons in your life that are more stressful. It could even be good things, like maybe you're planning a wedding or going on vacation, and so you don't necessarily have the energy or mindset to focus fully on your weight loss journey during those times. And those could be the seasons where maybe you're not exercising as much as you want to exercise, or you're not focused as much on meal planning or meal prepping if you used to do that before on your weight loss journey. And so there's going to be these times where it seems like you may have the ability to do more in your weight loss journey versus other times where life is lifing and you don't maybe have the time, the energy, the focus, the will, the ability, whatever, to do all the things. And so when we go back to the story of the popcorn, one of the things that I want to mention is that usually when you look at the instructions on the microwave popcorn, it's usually for a higher wattage microwave, maybe 1,000 watts. Sometimes it'll be instructions for a 900-watt microwave. But for me, my microwave is actually only 700 watts. And so that means that in order for me to have that full bag of popcorn, I have to pop the popcorn a little bit longer. So if the instructions are for, say, 2.5 minutes for a 1,000-watt microwave, then for my 700-watt microwave, it might be that for that microwave, I may need to pop it for 3 minutes and 30 seconds instead of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But the thing is, even though it may take me longer, I still have that same results at the end of the day. I still have that full bag of popcorn that I get to enjoy. And that's what it's like in your life when things are going on. It doesn't mean that you have to do all the things that you would normally do when you're highly motivated. You can still do some of the things that are going to help you to continue to move forward during those times where life gets busier and you just don't have the ability, or what I like to say, the wattage, to do all the things. And so there's going to be these seasons in your life when you have high wattage seasons. That's those times when you're highly motivated, usually January 1st, or maybe there's some exciting event or something coming up that you are excited about and you want to lose weight for. And then there's those seasons that are lower wattage seasons. And those are the seasons where it's busy, people are sick, business is just really booming. And so you just don't have the time to do the meal prep like you used to. Those are your lower wattage seasons. But still, just like my microwave with the lower wattage, we can still get the same end result. It just may take a little bit longer. So let me show you what I mean. So here's some results from a study that Precision Nutrition did for some of their coaching clients. This is where I received my nutrition coaching certification as well. But so this was for women, and they also did the study with men, but I'm just going to read some of the results for the women. This is for women for 12 months after they had received coaching with Precision Nutrition. And so for women that were 90 to 100% consistent, so this is like high wattage, right? They're 90 to 100% consistent. They lost on average about 19 pounds 12 months after coaching. And then they also lost about 10% of their body weight and then 5 inches from their waist. So that's a 12 months after coaching with 90 to 100% consistency. But get this, for women that were 10 to 49% consistent, so about less than half of the consistency, they lost 11 pounds on average. So remember, the women that were 90 to 100% lost about 19 pounds, but the ones that were only 10 to 49%, so less than half, consistent, still lost 11 pounds over that 12-month period. They lost 6% body weight, and actually misspoke on this one before. The women that were 90 to 100% consistent actually lost 21 inches total. It was 5 inches just from their waist, but it was 21 total inches. But the ones that were 10 to 49% consistent, so consistent less than half of the time, still lost 11 inches total from their body. So 11 pounds and 11 inches versus the 19 pounds and the 21 inches. So what does that tell you? That you can still move forward in your weight loss journey without doing all the things. And that was something that I realized too on my weight loss journey. When I lost the 80 pounds, I was only consistent about 50% of the time. And so I was not doing all the things all the time. I was only consistent 50% of the time. And I know that because I was tracking what I was doing. Even on the days when I wasn't doing all the things that I wanted to do, I still would track what I was doing. And so I realized when I look back through that, that I was only consistent about 50% of the time. And I still lost 80 pounds. And so, like I said, it doesn't mean that you won't lose weight. It just may take a little bit longer because you're running at the lower wattage. And so what that means for you and what I teach inside of the club is to have what we call a high wattage plan. And then you're going to also have a low wattage plan. And what that means is that the high wattage plan, like I said, is when you're highly motivated, you want to do all the things. And so that's a plan for, okay, during those times when I'm highly motivated, what is it that I want to do? And so then you can write down all those things that you want to do. And then you're going to have your low wattage plan. And that's for the times where there are challenges in your life, where you're not feeling highly motivated, when maybe you're not feeling well, you need to take times of rest. That's your low wattage plan. So what is it that at minimum I'm going to do during those times when I just don't feel like doing anything? That's your low wattage plan. So even when you're not motivated, there are still some things that you're going to commit to doing because it's still going to move you forward on your weight loss journey. So your high wattage plan, that's going to be the all things, like if we're thinking about the all or nothing mentality, that's the all. The low wattage plan, that's your something, because we're going to drop the all or nothing mentality, but you want to have an all or something mentality. So if I'm not doing all the things, I'm still going to do something. And so that's your low wattage plan, because that's going to help you to where you're not stopping the process and stopping the progress, so that you can continue to move forward on your weight loss journey, even if it's at a slower pace, so that you'll stop stopping and you'll keep moving forward on your journey. So once you have this plan in place, it's going to help you so that you no longer have this mindset that, well, if I can't do this, I just need to quit and do it later. Now you know that you don't want to quit. You don't need to quit. You can just scale back what it is that you are doing so that you can continue to move forward. Because we know there are going to be times when we're not motivated. There are going to be times where we just don't feel like doing the things. We're not committed like we were in the moment that we made the plan originally. And so by you having this lower wattage plan, it still gives you some steps to move forward. And you know what? It also helps you to build up your confidence in that you can do this even when life is lifing, and it empowers you and helps you to feel better about what you're doing on your weight loss journey. And so, like I mentioned, this is what I teach the women inside of Whole and Holy Girls Club. And we do this with the 7 habits of faith-fueled weight loss. And if you want to know what those 7 habits are and why doing weight loss with God is different, then watch this video right here.